Hey, it's Mr. Graham. I'm going to show you some basics of navigating in Tinkercad. So we go to, you're in your STEM class and you go to classwork, and this is the 3D design and printing. I'm just going to use my student account in Mrs. Anderson's class. So you click the link. The first time you'll have to put in your username, your nickname, like EG 8000. But after that, it will just open up for you. So I'll click that's me. It takes us to our home screen, and right now you probably don't have any builds in there yet. So we're going to start a project, and we'll just name it practice. So we'll just create new design. And Tinkercad creates weird names for our projects from like as a default. And we definitely want to name our stuff better, just like always. So we're just going to call this practice because that's exactly what this is. So we're just going to name it practice. So there's kind of a lot going on here. Up at the top right, we have 3D design and blocks, and then Legos. It lets you like kind of toggle back and forth. This is something that you can explore later after you've actually built something. We have send to, export, import. We're going to do that stuff later. Don't worry too much about it now. We also have some different tools and some different automatic options like mirror, align, group, ungroup. I think this is tips. Over here, we have like copy and paste and duplicate and trash. We also have an undo and a redo. So this is going to be very handy for you. Over here to the left, we have different tools for our perspective. So this is 3D. We can look at it as a 3D. We can also look at it as a 2D. So I'm using a Chromebook. I highly suggest that you use a mouse. It will make your life way easier to navigate here. But if you don't have a mouse, you can use the Chrome pad. You just it's not quite as exact. So I'll go through some of these options with you. Then over here we have different shapes that you can do, and I'm actually going to show you how to navigate and how to build a skeleton. So you can click skeleton. But before I do that, I want to show you the difference between a solid shape and a hole. So I'm just going to drag this box in here, and you can resize it, and you can make things taller. You can elevate them up and down, things like that. So go ahead and you can rotate stuff. If you hold shift, it like rotates it in 45 degrees. You can do a whole bunch of different things with that. So go ahead and explore those different options, see what happens. If you're in the 3D view like I am, on a Chromebook, if you do two fingers and then you can drag around, two fingers will let you zoom in and out. You can also use the zoom in and out here. And if you mess up your work plane, you can just press home and it kind of takes you back to that default. I'm going to put a hole in the middle of this block here. So I'm going to grab the cylinder and I'm just going to drag it over. And I can't see it, so I'll just use my arrow key. You see how it goes off to the side. I want to make this way taller. That way I can make sure that it's going to put a hole all the way through this box. So I'll change the height, make it go down the work plane, and I'll grab it and I'll just move it back over. And you can move it with the arrow to get it exact. And over here, if you change right here, you can change your perspective. So this is 2D. Now I can look at what it's going to look like from the front, and you can see how my hole goes all the way through. You can click through the right side of this. You're like, all right, cool, Mr. Grabo, how can I put the actual hole in it? So you click on the box, you hold shift, and you're going to click on that cylinder too, and you see I grabbed two shapes. I can just group them together, and now there is I'll go back from the top view, and you can actually see that there is a hole that goes all the way through that box. So kind of cool. Some basic stuff. And so I'm going to delete that. And now I'm going to go back up to this Tinkercad, and I want to show you how to build a skeleton. If you want, you can build a dinosaur too. So I'll go back here to my 3D work plane and I'll do home. I'll reset myself. So here's the skull. I can drag the skull over. It's locked. That means this is the size it has to be. You can also change your color here. Now, if we actually are printing this, it doesn't matter what color is in here because it matters what filament I put in the 3D printer. So I'll just use a red skeleton. And what we want to do, whoops, let's go in. We kind of the challenge would be to build a skeleton standing up. So I can elevate his skull, and I know I need to put his chest in here, right? So let's do his, whoops, I only want one, so I can just press backspace. I want to rotate this up, so I can grab this arrow and 90 degrees, right? You can hold shift and you'll get it 90 degrees, you let go. And I can try to navigate this the best that I can. And I like to use 2 fingers with the Chrome pad if you're not using a mouse to click and to move. And I also changed my perspectives a fair amount because here it is on the front. And you'll notice, well, I want everything on this work plane, this line right here. So I know I'm going to have to elevate that up. And it gives you little measurements off to the side. And now I know my skull needs to go up also. Whoops. So I click on the skull. Whoa. Whoops. So I'll do escape. It kind of resets my mouse. I want to move my skull up. I can just use I'll use this little arrow. Okay. I want to zoom in. Now I'm going to go to the right. Now you see how in front perspective, it looks lined up. Well, you have to check all 3 dimensions. So now I move my torso over, right? Okay, I'm going to click on the skull, and I should be able to move it up and down. All right, let's take a look at what it looks like. See, it's not perfectly lined up. I go back to the torso. There we go. That looks good. Let's check all the dimensions. All right, that looks good. Now I'm going to group them together. So I click the torso, click shift, and click. There we go. And now I have 2 shapes and I can group them together. So now they are joined together. And now I would put in the hips and the feet and all that stuff so I could raise it up and do all of that. And I just want you to try to build something and go ahead and explore and get used to navigating. I mean, that's the whole point of today's lesson, is for you to just make mistakes and see what you can do. You can check out all of this stuff. We got text and numbers that you can put in. We got basic shapes. The scribble basic shape is pretty cool. Check it out and just explore. You can't break anything. This is a practice build. So just try to do stuff and get used to making mistakes and this whole platform. All right, bye. I can help you whenever you need to, whenever you need it. All right, let's see if we'll actually end my video like it's supposed to. Come on. Here we go. All right.